And we return to Book 8 of Homer's epic, the Iliad, where the tides of battle turn. Now, if you haven't been following along, or if you've just stumbled across this video, down in the description below, there's a playlist where you can watch and listen to all of the different Iliad books. Now, if you have caught up and you were wondering what happened to the previous, why there was a bit of a hiatus, I apologize because my cold was getting a little worse and my throat was starting to hurt, so I decided to give myself a brief time to recover. Now, without further ado and without further stalling, we'll begin with Book 8 of Homer's epic, the Iliad, and the tides of battle finally turn. It begins with Zeus upon Mount Olympus, having enough of the other gods squabbling within this war and interfering. He then forbids all of them from interfering in the war, as he himself goes off to the mountains of Ada near Troy to take charge of this war. But before he does anything, Zeus needs to weigh the fate of the two armies upon his scales. This is to make sure that everything that he is doing is fair, and he's not going to interfere with the futures and fates of certain individuals within this war. Now, he does this, and he determines that, yes, the Achaeans are fated to lose. And with that, Zeus is free to interfere as much as he likes within this war. And with the fates' judgment set, Zeus then decides to send a thunderstorm into the middle of the Achaean ranks, which sends terror and panic across the army. And all the brave men in the army, including Odysseus, run in terror of this god's wrath. Now, you gotta remember, it's not like nowadays where we see a thunderstorm where it's a thunderstorm. Even if you're out involved in a serious, violent storm, yes, it's scary, but it doesn't send men as a belief that the gods are here to destroy you. It makes men believe that, oh crap, there's a serious thunderstorm. Back in those days, this was a serious, serious moment, and why their entire army decides to rout in a panic. The Trojans usually would panic at this as well, but Hector, thinking quickly, manages to see this as rout and takes it as a sign from Zeus himself, and manages to sally forth his army from the safeties of the walls to determine to break down the Achaean walls and set their ships ablaze. Now back on Olympus, Hera rants and complains to Poseidon about what is happening, but neither party wishes to risk defying Zeus and incurring the god's wrath, as Zeus has made it perfectly well clear, none of you can hold up against me. I will stop every single one of you and will smite you down if you try. And back on the actual battlefield, Agamemnon successfully manages to rally his men and prays to Zeus, asking the gods to allow his men to live throughout the day. Zeus hears this desperate prayer and responds with his sign of assent. He sends an eagle to soar through the sky over the Achaean ranks. This manages to restore their courage as they pounce back at the Trojan lines. But Zeus is not going to let them win so easily. He encourages Hector to punch through part of the Achaean lines where it is weak, and this manages to push back the Achaeans up against their own walls. With the Achaeans trapped between their walls and the approaching army, Athena and Hera become furious as they watch from Olympus's heights, and they begin to dress for battle despite Zeus's threats. Zeus sees these two goddesses beginning to dress up for war and heading down from Olympus. He decides to send a lightning bolt flying towards the two, as well as the goddess Iris, to warn them off. Now, Iris manages to calm the two's fury, with the knowledge that Hector will rampage until Achilles returns to battle, despite Zeus's thunderbolt narrowly missing his favorite daughter. The two goddesses are calmed. They're no longer in a fury, but they're still not happy with the circumstances. And the two goddesses return to Olympus, unscathed, but not unfrightened. And as night falls, the fighting ends, and Hector has his army camp out into the plains, rather than go back and seek shelter into Troy, to ensure that the Achaeans can't sail away and are beaten back once and for all. Him camping out just outside of their camp puts pressure upon the Achaeans and makes them so that way this is not going to be a restless night. Will be a restless night. And with that, the battle that has been raging for a couple of books finally comes to a close. The war has not, and the threat has not either, as the Trojans and the Achaeans are very close to each other. And you'll hear soon after that there's a bit of fighting that happens through the night in the next book. But with that, Book 8 of the Iliad ends, where the tides of battle have finally turned to the Trojan side. And if you are interested in this and following along, you can pick up a good copy of the Iliad in a leather-bound hardcover edition with gilded edges down in the Amazon affiliate link in the description below. It'll help out the channel, and you also get a really nice leather-bound edition for not too much money, in my opinion. But if you don't, well, then that's fine by me. If you didn't like this, you can please don't hesitate to downvote and give me a comment and letting me know any feedback that I can do to improve. And with that, I wish everyone the best, and I look forward to seeing you all in Book 9 of the epic Iliad by Homer. Take care, everyone.